As far as our non-stop coverage continues here, let me introduce to you Javed Ansari has joined us here in the studio, and also Professor Shiv Vishwanath. We're talking about Tamil Nadu, and we're talking about these 39 seats that are extremely crucial, not just to the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister and AIADMK Chief Jayalalitha, but also to both the Congress and the BJP. What is the outcome of Tamil Nadu? But we're talking about Jayalalitha. She is more hopeful than ever to achieve her PM dreams. At least if you hear any of her campaign speeches, that's what she says. Riding on her performance in the 2011 assembly polls, the AIADMK chief is fancying her chance at the centre. She doesn't say it out loud, but she hints at it. Can she play queen or at least the kingmaker? That's the big question.
When Jayalalitha outed her prime ministerial ambitions earlier this year, only a handful paid any serious attention. Her enormous power was always regarded as strictly regional. But with the substantial possibility of a fractured mandate in the current election, Jayalalitha fancies her chances of emerging as a dark horse prime ministerial candidate. The reigning Rani of Tamil Nadu has been Chief Minister of the state since 2011, but has cunningly hedged her bets, avoiding any alignment with either the Congress or the BJP yet. Jaya is strongly positioned to play power broker if she wins at least 27 seats. And despite her recent attacks on Modi's Gujarat model, it may all be part of the design. Her chances are boosted if the BJP emerges the single largest party, but short of a majority. In any event, she could even emerge a consensus candidate. Bureau Report, headlines today.
Professor Vishwanathan, do you feel that Jayalalitha at this point will be worried with BJP and the Rainbow Alliance that it has cobbled up in the south?
In terms of timing, yes. Because this is the week of gossip. This is the week where the opponents will nibble away at your achievements. And this is the week which sort of waits the suspense to see whether she can be the queen bee. So in that sense, this is the week she should worry.
We were seeing these pictures of Rajnikant come in earlier today, and at that point what we saw was clearly pictures of a man who, when he met Narendra Modi, or rather when Narendra Modi came and met him, it clearly created a flutter. We saw an immediate reaction from Jayalalitha, angling at both the BJP and the Congress at during that particular rally over the Kaveri issue. But after that, she's been hitting out at Narendra Modi directly. Would you see this particular meeting between Rajnikant and Narendra Modi to be the precursor for that? The
prospect of Rajnikant would scare anyone, because to a certain extent he is that completely impending possibility, the one impossible hypothesis that can change Tamil Nadu politics. But to a certain extent he is keeping his cards to himself. He is not really endorsing someone. Look at even the ritual way he votes. He comes in by 7 o'clock and finishes voting because he knows Jayalalitha will be in the constituency by 9. I think to a certain extent he's keeping a ritual distance, which adds to the suspense. Interesting the way you put it. Stay with us. Pierre Fritter is joining us in the Election Info Center. Pierre, over to you. Tell us what's happening in the space of social media, and also I believe you have some MP report cards with you. Okay, we'll go to Pierre in just a bit, is what I'm being told. Javed Saab, as far as the Congress party is concerned, we've seen that BJP has managed to get at least 6 parties together. It's being called a rainbow coalition. They're honestly cocking the snook at the Congress party, which finds itself completely isolated in Tamil Nadu.
Absolutely, it's been squeezed out and it has nobody to blame but itself. They had an ally, DMK. They fell apart. Some belated efforts were made, but it was perhaps too late in the day, and they are right now on their own. And Mani Shankar Iyer sums it up better than anybody else. He says it will be a miracle if any one of us win, but you know, miracles do happen. In this case, even he doesn't seem very optimistic.
Okay, at this point, how crucial are the smaller parties to BJP's plan to breach the Dravidian bastion? We've been talking to our experts. Here's a quick reality check.
The BJP has stitched together a formidable-looking alliance in Tamil Nadu. But how crucial are these small parties to Modi's big plan? The DMDK, led by actor-turned-politician Vijaykanth, was the first logical step, since it is the only party that can claim to have a vote bank across Tamil Nadu. Vijaykanth was expected to have bargained hard and cornered 14 seats, including 5 from which it had won by over 1 lakh votes in 2009, and another 2 seats where it won by over 90,000 votes. The Pattali Makkal Kachi, the PMK, was one of the more difficult pieces in the jigsaw, considering the BJP had to accommodate the interests between the DMDK and the PMK for the same piece of the communal vote share in the same region of influence. Though a compromise was reached, the rivalry is expected to continue. The PMK represents the Vaniyars, a community that accounts for over 12% of the vote share, a crucial vote bank for the Bharatiya Janata Party. The MDMK has been the loudest endorser, remember, of Narendra Modi as Prime Minister. Vaiko has had a good working partnership with the NDA during Vajpayee's Prime Ministership and will be hoping that Modi can now revive the party's relevance. Remember, the party was forced to sit out of the last assembly elections after it was ejected out of the AIADMK alliance. It must win at least 7 seats to stay relevant in the coming days ahead. The KMDK represents the Kongu region, the western industrialized belt of Tamil Nadu. The party is a startup in the sub-regional caste-based political grouping, espousing the cause of intermediary communities like the Gaundars. What makes the caste more influential is their financial might. According to some estimates, the region contributes to more than a third of Tamil Nadu's total revenue. The IJK is a surprise constituent of the NDA. Formed before the last assembly election in the state, it did not win any seats and lost its deposits in most of them. But what lacks in political strength, it makes up for with overall clout.